I was like, Beverly, I'm super gay. Like, I cannot stop looking at females. She was like, oh, you can't be Muslim and lesbian. And I was like, no second date for you, girl.
I saw this video and I was just shocked. How can you have a lesbian Muslim hijabi? How does that even go together? Look, I can understand that Muslims can commit sins. I get it. But how can you claim to be a practicing Muslim who cares about Islam and yet be very open and brazen about committing this kind of sin? How does this happen? How does this mindset come about? So I want to break down this video because it helps us understand what are the underlying ideas that are leading to this mindset and causing confusion for our youth. So what are those ideas and how can we start addressing them?
My name's Nadia. I identify as lesbian.
Yes, queen.
Yes, queen. So this is what we are seeing a lot of our Muslim youth fall into, being openly accepting, tolerant of homosexuality, and even some of them falling into homosexuality. 80%
to 90% people will say homosexuality is a sin in Islam. In the Quran, there's like a story about men who are a little bit effeminate.
She's making that up. That has no accuracy. There's no story about effeminate men in the Quran. The story is about Qawm Lut alayhi salam, and these were men, as the Quran says, who approached other men with desire instead of women. And so this is not effeminate behavior. This is same-sex behavior, and they acted very aggressively with Lut alayhi salam, the prophet, and also with the angels who are the guests and visiting Lut alayhi salam. And so it's not about effeminate behavior.
Everything in the Quran is about a man and a woman, man and a woman.
Yeah, I think that there might be a message there that everything in the Quran is about a man and a woman, a man and a woman. Do you not believe in the Quran?
I want to like make change in the Muslim and Arab community and kind of help the LGBT people.
Yeah, she wants to make change in the Muslim and the Arab community. Okay, doesn't that sound like an activist mentality? Trying to distort Islam, trying to create this environment where LGBT behavior is considered acceptable and we have to celebrate it. This is what's being imposed on the Muslim world by force. And they use examples like this of individuals who clearly don't understand Islam, who are only Muslim by name, and then they want to promote them into the Muslim world so that these behaviors become normalized and accepted. And all of the problems that come with that kind of behavior, all of the evil that comes with it, is also infected the Muslim world. That's the goal. That's the project.
My little sister, actually, she's like all about rights and social justice, and sometimes she just likes to debate like things about LGBT rights in the middle of, I'm like, I'm having breakfast. Like, can we like?
Yeah, exactly. Her little sister's all about rights, all about social justice, all about activism. This is what their religion has become. This is what the religion of so many Muslim youth has become. And it's no secret why. It's because so many of the community figures within the West, the religious figures, have been promoting this kind of idea of activism and social justice that has nothing to do with Islam and is actively promoting things that are contrary to Islam and to the harm and the detriment of society, Muslim and non-Muslim. So this has become the religion of so many youth, not Islam, not the Quran and the Sunnah. No, her little sister that she's describing is all about that social justice, all about that women's march, all about that SJW nonsense.
Is a reformation within Islam possible to correct the rampant homophobia?
With the young people, there's chance.
See, it's all about reformation. She keeps talking about wanting to reform, wanting to change. This is a project and she's being used as an agent, and probably she doesn't even recognize it. She doesn't even realize that she's being used in this way as this Muslim hijabi who is going to tell Muslims that you need to accept me, you need to be an advocate for LGBT, but that's what she is. This is cultural imperialism.
I don't care if someone thinks homosexuality is a sin.
You don't care if God says it's a sin? That's not relevant to you?
I think at least there should be room for respect. Like, live and let live.
See, doesn't make any sense. Live and let live is not a consistent philosophy. Are you going to live and let live when it comes to racists? Are you going to live and let live when it comes to Islamophobes? Are you going to live and let live when it comes to misogynists? No, people who are coming from the left wing don't live and let live. They think that these people need to be shut down, and they literally say, shut it down. Is that tolerant? No, it's not. You're definitely stopping certain people who are racist, who are misogynists, who are anti-black, who are you consider fascist. What's Antifa all about? It's all about shutting down and throwing milkshakes and harassing and abusing. Where's the live and let live there? Well, you have certain lines that you've drawn. You have certain issues that you care about so much and you consider it to be so evil that you don't live and let live. You need to shut it down. Well, who decides what things you should tolerate and what things need to be shut down? Who determines that? Is it you? Is it your ideas of what is social justice? Is it what you think is right and wrong? God decides that. God decides what are things that are live and let live and what are things that are wrong and are crimes and are immoral and cause destruction and cause harm that need to be shut down.
I don't care if someone thinks homosexuality is a sin. That is their belief. You cannot take it away from them.
Yeah, there are some racists who think that whites are superior to blacks. There are white nationalists who think that America is a white nation and that we need to expel all non-whites from America and from the West in general. So that's their belief. Are you going to say that? Are you going to, oh, well, that's their belief. There's no use in trying to change that or use in trying to argue that or use in trying to censor that and so forth. No, you're not going to tolerate it. So then how can you have a problem with the fact that Islam does not tolerate certain things? And this LGBT is one of those red line issues.
Somebody asked if it's a death penalty in Muslim countries for being gay.
Oh yeah.
Is it?
Yes. In Saudi Arabia, I can say that for sure, 100%.
Does Islam have the death penalty for same-sex behavior? Yes, Islam does have criminal punishments for same-sex acts up to and including the death penalty. Look, I'm not going to be able to explain this and justify this within this short video, but you can check my channel for more information on this. You can check my website, muslimskeptic.com, Lesbian Institute as well. I can't even begin to explain this because YouTube will ban this video. We can't have a frank conversation about the harms and the damage caused by this type of behavior anymore online because you have major tech companies that will literally ban you off the internet for talking about this subject. I'm worried about this video getting banned.
It's so ironic that I'm defending Islam when also certain parts of it I do not want to defend.
Yeah, it is ironic that you're defending Islam because clearly Islam is not your religion. You don't care what God says. You don't care what the Quran says. You don't care about the Islamic law. So what is really making you Muslim? And I'm not trying to make takfir of this woman. I'm just saying that it's not Islam that you're defending as your religion. So it's not ironic, actually, the kinds of things that you're saying. There's another religion that you're defending. There's another religion that you're promoting and trying to spread into the Muslim world, but it's not Islam.
Some people take things out of context with the Quran. Like, it's not like do or die. It's just like any religion. Oh, you're homosexual, it's a sin, you're gonna go to hell.
Yeah, she's right. It's not do or die because as Allah says in the Quran, there is repentance, there is tawbah. You can commit a sin, even a very big sin, like homosexual behavior, like sex outside of marriage, like adultery, like drinking alcohol, like eating pork, like even committing murder. Okay? Crimes like this, sins like this can be forgiven by Allah. God says that He will forgive these sins if one repents for them. If one repents for any of these sins, even kufr, even shirk, one repents and turns back to Allah, then Allah is all forgiving, and all merciful. But if you change the religion of Allah, if you say things like, oh, so what? Sinning is fine. Doesn't matter what God says. Ironically, I'm defending Islam even though I don't agree with these aspects of Islam. Okay, that you're changing the religion. That is something much, much more serious than committing sins and then repenting for them.
How do I feel about homosexuality being sin in Islam? It bothers me, it affects me, it's a struggle.
Your religion bothers you. The Quran bothers you. This is what's so scary. And that's what we see from many Muslim youth. Let's be real. We have to be real about this because we're far beyond the point of trying to downplay this phenomenon. How many people, how many young Muslim kids have I seen who express these exact ideas, these exact statements, almost word for word? Live and let live. People have their own beliefs. All of these liberal ideologies, liberal doctrines are being repeated verbatim by our youth. So what are we doing to counter those and to address those and prevent our youth from sliding into disbelief?
You met someone, she worked at the gay bars, 2 women from Saudi Arabia.
Ooh,
And
interesting.
they literally have to hide and never get caught. My question is, how do you stay safe and see other people?
That is interesting because there's
I
a
mean,
lot.
it's different for you because you live in Orlando.
I'm privileged in the
yeah.
sense that I live in Orlando, in America to begin
Right.
with.
I'm privileged because I can go to gay bars. Oh, what a privilege. Oh, wow. We should have gay bars everywhere. We should just spread gay bars throughout the Muslim world and make sure that everyone has the opportunity to go to the gay bars because they're so amazing, such amazing places that we need for all Muslims to have access to. I mean, come on, this is about freedom, right? Why can't we reform Islam to make sure that everyone has access to the gay bars? We need those kinds of privileges.
Does your religion think that being gay is a choice?
It's less the religion, more the people, but the religion, what people take from the religion is that it's not a choice.
It makes no difference if we say that homosexuality is a choice or you're born with it. It makes absolutely no difference because at the end of the day, it's still something that God said, Allah said not to do. There are many things that we're born with that God has said, don't pursue this, don't do this because it's going to be bad for you. Even with opposite sex, right? Muslims, we know that it is impermissible, is haram to have sex outside of marriage. Okay? You might have that desire, you might have that urge to go and have sex with that person and not be married to them. And you might have the opportunity to do so. That urge very well may be natural, but that doesn't mean that you're justified in doing that kind of behavior. It's very clear logic there. Just because if we acknowledge that, okay, fine, same-sex attraction, you're born with that. Okay, what does that mean? That doesn't mean that you're justified in acting that way, in pursuing that kind of lifestyle. It makes no sense.
If I wasn't supposed to do this video, why would I be here? I'm like, hey God, if you really don't like me being gay, like, let me know, because I've been doing gay stuff and you haven't stopped me since.
Yeah, that's what the murderer says. Oh, well, I've been murdering people. If that was wrong, why hasn't God stopped me? Oh, I've been stealing from people. If God didn't want me stealing from people, then he should have stopped me. Oh, I am committing all kinds of degenerate acts with people. If God didn't want me to doing that, then he should have stopped me. I'm molesting people, and if God didn't want me molesting people, then he can stop me. I mean, what kind of logic is this? Ridiculous.
Take faith how you want it. You want to be a Muslim still and express your sexuality. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, because a female told me, oh, you can't be Muslim and lesbian. I said, watch me.
Isn't it amazing that you have these people who are unapologetically Muslim? She's wearing the hijab. She wants to dance in front of the camera and talk about how proud she is to have a Muslim identity and fighting against Islamophobia and trying to change the Muslim world and the Arab world for the better. But at the same time, she has all of these beliefs that are contrary to Islam, that she has views that are outright kufr. So this is the real problem of apostasy in the Muslim community, because you have people like this who are wearing the hijab and they're advocating for complete kufr, or they believe complete kufr, but we don't think of them as apostates. We don't think of them as having left Islam because they still call themselves Muslims. She's not coming out and saying, actually, I'm an atheist. I've left Islam. No, but the things that she's saying are the kinds of things that are kufr, that will take a person out of Islam. So this is what is really the big problem, and we have to address it by addressing the issues, by addressing the underlying ideology of liberalism, of feminism, of secularism. All of these ideas need to be tackled in a principled way, in an intelligent way, and an authentic way. If we just keep parading around and saying, oh, we're unapologetically Muslim, oh, these Islamophobes are so mean, and we need to have less discrimination, all these kinds of left-wing pieces of agenda, if that's the route that the Muslim community is going to take, fine. You're just going to have more people like this. You're going to have more youth thinking like this. Is that really preserving Islam? Is that really protecting Islam for future generations? Honestly, I feel so bad for this young lady. It's so sad that this YASS queen, I do gay stuff nonsense is affecting and brainwashing so much of our youth. This brings truth to the words of the Prophet ﷺ when he said that Islam came as something strange and it will return to being something strange towards the end of times. We are seeing that with our own eyes. Look, I recognize that the things that I'm saying are so out there compared to what is being normalized in society. What? This guy is talking about punishing LGBT? What? This guy is talking about how LGBT is wrong, it's deviance, and so on and so on. This guy's crazy. This guy's a bigot. That's the environment that's been created for us. So are we aware of that? Are we awake? Are we woke to what's going on in the world and how Islam is being turned into something strange and something evil, and how Islam is being attacked from all directions because of videos like this, through videos like this? What are we doing to defend Islam?